Before we begin our presentation, we would like to take a moment to thank the Bezos Family Foundation for giving us this amazing opportunity. Thank you.
The presentation. This is the Milky Way. Now, if you've ever lived in Chicago, you're used to night skies like this. But here in Aspen, you see the stars every clear night. See the difference? Light pollution. This phenomenon is very prevalent in my city. What is light pollution, you may ask? We've asked the public, and we've heard responses such as the pollution of light. What's that? Air pollution? According to the National Park Service, light pollution is excessive, misdirected, or obtrusive artificial light.
We are Starry Chicago, and we have created a program to make Chicago a better place to live by reducing the impact of ineffective lighting. Our mission is to educate the community about the importance of preserving the night sky and to advocate for dark sky-friendly policies in order to mitigate the harmful effects of light pollution.
Like any other organization, we have lots of goals. An important goal of ours is to advocate for dark sky-friendly policies in order to lessen the harmful impact of light pollution. Now, when we first started out, we faced a variety of issues. We had to deal with members opting out of the group, which made it very difficult to establish a steady team dynamic. However, by filling in their positions, we were able to achieve this dynamic and actually progress as a result. What a turnaround!
In order to learn how light pollution was affecting our community, we traveled in search of dark skies.
I visited Central Illinois to see how rural areas experience light pollution.
I went to Kansas to compare their lighting and ours.
But our curiosity did not end there.
I ventured to Costa Rica to experience a true dark sky.
These trips were able to inform our decision-making with additional data. Through these citizen science projects, we have been able to better educate ourselves on the impacts of light pollution in our community.
As seen in the map, there are areas covered in fluorescent green, yellow, blue, and red markers, as well as several gray and black areas. Brighter areas correspond to higher levels of sky glow from light pollution. Much of the eastern part of the United States is covered by these bright color markers, and Chicago is part of it. Colorado, on the other hand, isn't under that blanket of light, allowing stargazers to have a much more pleasant experience with the night sky. Maps like these allow us to see the impact of light pollution and how much damage unthoughtful decision-making can do to our world.
We went to several elementary schools and talked to them about light pollution, astronomy, and Starry Chicago. We set up a Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page, and website since, let's be honest, most people communicate online nowadays. We had workshops for kids, teaching them about the importance of preserving the night sky. The culminating event was a star party. Kids and adults alike were simply giddy. This was their first time looking through a telescope and seeing the moon up close. Their enthusiasm was obvious in their wows as they gazed through the telescope lens.
Now, as high school kids, we're used to being considered naive. But when my teammate and I attended a Chicago Infrastructure Trust meeting, we believe we were heard. Now, let me go into what the Chicago Infrastructure Trust is. They are in charge of the Smart Lighting Project. This project initiates the change of all publicly owned streetlights into LEDs. This is a crucial moment for the people living in Chicago, as it has the potential to make light pollution in my city worse. We brought up the idea of adding a lighting shield to the streetlight to direct light where it is intended. We believe our concerns were heard. We drafted a lighting ordinance and are currently pursuing meetings with local elected representatives.
To continue spreading our efforts and educating the public, Starry Chicago created an educational program through workshops. These workshops are responsible for teaching kids about the night sky and light pollution. Students who attend our workshops become STAR ambassadors who then can bring their education to their peers in the classroom. Additionally, we are developing a telescope loaner program so families of STAR ambassadors can experience a star night sky for themselves. We plan to involve the aid of the local libraries so families of STAR ambassadors can go to the designated libraries, fill out the forms, and use their borrowed telescopes.
Starry Chicago is sustainable. We wrote a curriculum so that other high school students can use it so that they can teach kids about light pollution as well, similar to what we did. We also plan to take kids to rural areas so they can experience a dark sky for themselves. I mean, what city kid wouldn't want to see the stars? The stars they've only seen in storybooks. In this way, we can engage the kids so they can further understand the importance of the preservation of the dark sky. We got the attention of one little boy in particular during one of our star parties. He looked into the sky in bewilderment, and he ecstatically shouted, Now that was the exact kind of enthusiasm that we were looking for.
As the school year ended, we furthered our outreach by attending cultural events, community events, conducting media broadcasting, and hosting Sidewalk Astronomy. We also created a petition advocating for dark sky-friendly policies, and during all of these events, we handed it out and got it signed. As for our efforts to reach policymakers, we even chased down this guy, Mayor Rahm Emanuel. In our conversation with him, we were able to point out what the American Medical Association endorsed this month, which is that light pollution not only has a detrimental effect to human health, but the environment as well.
We have received positive attention from organizations such as the International Dark Sky Association, as well as online media such as DNA Info. It was exciting, no, amazing, seeing just how engaged our community really was when we showed them just some of the other planets in our own solar system.
One of the events we hosted was Sidewalk Astronomy as a result of our collaboration with our neighborhood Chamber of Commerce. For the night, Starry Chicago set up telescopes near a busy intersection and gathered the attention of a multitude of people. It was pretty funny to see grown men giggle when they looked through the telescope. We planned for the Sidewalk Astronomy session to last about 2 hours, but due to the lines of people waiting to get a close-up look at Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and the moon, we stayed outside late into the evening.
One of the cultural events we attended was a classical music performance featuring a notable astronomer and visual artist. Through this event, we were able to reach out to community members and gain support for our petition, aiming to implement dark sky-friendly policies. Through a broadcast media interview, we were able to reach out to an even larger audience. Even though light pollution is an environmental issue, many environmentalists aren't aware of the impact, and it was imperative for us to create awareness.
Although some of us were not interested in astronomy, we share the passion to do something. At first, it was hard to relate to light pollution because I was just so used to not seeing the stars in Chicago. But after seeing the children's reactions of the absence of stars at night, I was driven to make a change. Starry Chicago made me take that step further on making that change.
We were challenged to illuminate the unknown in our community. The destruction of Chicago's night sky is that unknown. Our solution was one focused on education and advocacy. Through our workshops, curriculum, outreach to policymakers, and outreach to the community, we will build a better Chicago. We must open our eyes, look up into the night sky, and understand that change begins today.
Hi, I'm Yalam.
I'm Natalia G.
I'm Natalia R.
I'm Amy.
I'm Juan.
I'm Justin.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Shannon.
We are Starry Chicago.